Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Wellness Radio. I am your host, Dr. Rebecca Warren, with my co-host here, Dr. Nathan Warren. We're so excited. We are coming live from our home.
Yes.
If you guys could see our setup behind the scenes, because we're also live here on Facebook, but we're so excited to be here. We're so excited that we're live, and today we have a special 2-hour show. So we will be answering all of the questions that you guys might have. So if you have any health questions right now, we're going to be talking all things immune system, coronavirus. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about hormones. We have 2 hours to give you guys a lot of information. And, when we think about what we're going to talk about on our radio show, I love what you said this morning. You were like, people need leaders. We need leaders that are going to lead with hope, clarity, facts, stats. Like, guys, I'm on Facebook right along with you, and 90% of what I see is like incorrect, very fear-based. Everyone's just kind of, I don't know. If you are on social media a lot, guys, you need to take a break. So on the Wellness Radio, we want to educate you, we want to empower you, and we want to create a community that it's engaged and taking care of their health together and separately. So our office is located in Hamilton Place. We are still open. We are a chiropractic clinic. We are considered essential, but boy, oh boy, have we changed how we've done everything. We have off hours. Like this morning, people came in, they sat in their car, and we text them to let them know it was their time. We're limiting who's in the office. But the reason why we're still open at our Hamilton Place location is because now more than ever is it important to take care of your health. If you've listened to our radio show at all the last couple of weeks, we've talked about how now is when you should be taking care of your health. This is where heart disease and cancer and diabetes and dementia, under stress, this is when it's created. We not only have our clinic in Hamilton Place, but we do virtual health coaching. So we have been doing it online for over 2 or 3 years now. So we have a lot of resources for you guys to get well online. So find us on Facebook at Doctors Warren or at doctorswarren.com and in our clinic in Hamilton Place.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned that we've been doing that for almost a couple years now. So like when we get on Zoom with somebody, it's like we know exactly what processes to take, how to do it, how to communicate with people, how to get back to people. And again, so I thank God that we were kind of ahead of the curve on that one, because it's so much fun to be able to sit down with somebody from Texas or somebody from California and actually be able to work on their health,
or even from Chattanooga.
Even from Chattanooga, right down the road. We have some people that would rather just again be from home, and do that, especially during this time. But you also mentioned, talking about, one of the reasons why we are, considered still an essential healthcare practice and why we're still open is because the number one visit into a doctor's office or a hospital or even an ER visit is because of pain. And more specifically, the number one category of pain that people are visiting the emergency room for is low back pain, right? And so we know that, in a system that's already burdened, I would literally have patients that we adjust in our office, from places like, Erlanger and, different healthcare professionals. And they're talking about how it's such a wild thing that, that yes, they're preparing and they have patients, with COVID-19 and all these different types of things. But at the same time, like the hospital itself is basically going bankrupt, right, while we speak, because again, it's having to limit the amount of patients that they see. So I've had several over the last couple weeks, patients with like lots of pain, lower back pain, neck pain, and things like that they would normally go and get things like steroid injections or other type of injections done, where they're not able to rely on that right now, which again is only masking the problem. And even within a week or two, we're already seeing some really good results with them, because for the first time in their life, they're actually getting down to the root cause.
Well, I still love the story. This is why we're open. We had someone come in about 2 weeks ago. It was kind of like, all right, I'm having these really bad pain, really bad headaches. And he came in, we evaluated him, and I was like, oh my gosh, younger guy. But I just looked at his x-rays and I was like, wow, like this is really bad. I was like, all right, let's get you in. We'll get you taken care of off shift. He came in and he received his first specific adjustment according to what he had going on with his x-rays. Then he came in the next day so we can sit down and go over recommendations. And he's a pretty calm guy. Yeah. You know, if it happened to me, I'd be shouting it from the rooftops. And so he's sitting there and I'm talking to him about, hey, this is what's going on with your spine. And if we can get that corrected, I believe this will happen. I believe you'll see a change with your headaches, because he was waking up every day with a headache. And unless he took a prescription medication, it wasn't going to change. So I'm like, I do believe if we can rehab your spine, we can work on removing this subluxation, removing this interference. And he sat there and he's like, you know, I think I noticed something after my first adjustment. I was like, okay, cool. What was it? I thought he was going to be like, yeah, I feel better. He's like, so he started off by saying he had increased range of motion. I feel like I can move my head more. And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. And then he goes on to tell me that he's had headaches. Well, I knew this from his first visit for years, right? Headaches for years. And it was so bad. It was so severe. He ended up coming in. And that when he left our office, he felt like he was going to have a headache, but he didn't. Yeah. And then he went to bed, and he felt like he was going to have a headache, and he didn't. And usually when he wakes up with a headache, he thought he was going to have one, but he didn't. And by that time, it was the evening time. So he's sitting there. He's like, yeah, I haven't had a headache all day. And I'm like, that's amazing. This is why we do what we do. I mean, not just for pain relief, but for optimal health, for helping people live full, well lives. Because being in pain... it's not something that you can just write off. It's something that affects your overall well-being. That's why we're open. We're open so that people can still be well, that if you're able to still work, that you can do it, that you're able to be with your family, to be well during this time. And that's just so vitally important for us.
Oh, absolutely. And again, taking all different, recommendations, making sure everything is more than clean. I mean, like literally, my hands are like almost, it's taken a toll on my hands, over the last couple of weeks. But at the same time, it's really cool to see just how many people are coming in saying, man, thank you so much for, still being here, still being open, still, taking care of our health and making sure that we are, functioning and again, staying out of pain and making sure that they're doing well. So super exciting, right? And again, I kind of want to go back to, when we're talking about everything that we're going to talk about today, whether it's dealing with COVID-19 or whether we're talking about like just some, some of the foundations of health, some different protocols and everything like that, before we dive into all of that, I think it's important that we establish a baseline, right? And we always go back to this, no matter if we've had patients that have been with us for, almost 6 years now, or, patients that start, this next week, we establish a principle foundation that the body is created to heal, right? Even in the midst of all of this, even in the midst of something like COVID-19, the body is designed to heal, right? Now, does that mean that everybody, in the entire planet is going to get COVID-19 and heal and get better? No, it doesn't, right? Because again, there is a principle of health called principle of time, right? And then there is, again, limitation to matter. But at the same time, you don't know what that is, and you don't know, your time limit. So guess what you can do? The best thing you can do is start taking care of your health today and realize with a mindset that my body is designed to heal. If you are breathing right now, your body is already healing in this moment. We know that we're building, millions of cancer cells on a daily basis, but we're also killing millions of cancer cells on a daily basis. We know that, before even COVID-19, we were bombarded with all types of viruses and bacteria that's all around us on a daily basis in every interaction that we make. And yet, again, you're not getting sick from every little person that sneezes on you, right? What's the difference between the 104-year-old person that, survived COVID-19 that I read the article about yesterday, war veteran that survived COVID-19, and the 44-year-old father, of 3 that died from COVID-19? What's the difference there? The difference is literally the body's resilience and being able to deal with an external environment. And so we're going to be going over those foundations today on how you can actually establish the most resilient terrain that you can, so that again, when you are faced with whether it's an outside environmental issue, whether like a virus or again a bacteria or pollution or something like a toxin, or you're bombarded with an internal stressor, like emotional stress, those of you that are freaking out right now during this time, even the emotional stress that I felt yesterday when our mayor talked about the whole stay-at-home order, even though I had to, just take a minute, it's still just kind of an emotionally, weird thing. And so we want to make sure that we are able to establish that foundation, that your body is created to heal. You are no different than the person sitting beside you as far as physiology goes. So what can we do to build up a foundation that makes you resilient in your health?
Absolutely. And so, one thing that I saw a doctor had written, and so COVID is very, it gets transmitted very quickly. It is a virus that, that's why, be careful, that's why we're taking all the caution that we're taking in our clinic, because it can be transmitted very quickly. But the truth is we don't know how long it's been here. The best way is to get proper testing, not just testing for the virus itself, but testing people for antibodies.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Holy smokes.
Yeah, imagine if we tested so many people for antibodies and we find out that millions of people have the antibodies for it.
When we find out.
Yeah,
yes,
when we find out. But the one thing I want to say is that, guys, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about, one thing a doctor said was, when you have a weak immune system, yes, when your body is not well, any virus will do. If your body is not well, any infection will do to make you lose your health completely.
Yeah.
So it's not just the coronavirus. It can be antibiotic resistant bacteria. It can be other viruses, the flu. It can be pneumonia. It can be all these different things. If your body is not well, anything will do, and anything like bacterial infection, viral infection, anything from the outside in can take your life, can take away your health completely, make you end up in the hospital, which is why, again, the internal environment is so important. So if you're listening to this right now, guys, we are doing a special probably for the whole entire month. We have discounted all of our appointments, whether they're virtually or whether they're in the office. They're all going to be discounted as long as we have this stay-at-home order, as long as this thing is going on. We want to help out as many people as possible. So if anyone is listening to this, if you're on Facebook and you're like, man, I want to do a virtual consult, I want to see if I can get my health under control, I want to get my thyroid under control finally, or I want to get out of pain. Yeah. I want to get out of pain and come into an office that's safe. We have that available, guys. All of our appointments to get checked, whether virtually or in office, is $45 instead of, it can range between $120 and $150. And so it includes all testing, all examinations in office, any x-rays that you might need depending on what you're coming in with or what you have going on, and we do it virtually. Yep. You can give Heidi a call. That number is 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. Save that number, because we are here for you guys. Yep. In any capacity that we can. Whether you came into the office on a Saturday, we don't always do that. So I'll say that you don't do this, but someone in our office got injured, and after a radio show last week, you went there off hours, took care of him, and he's doing better already. So we are here for you guys, Chattanooga. We are here for all of you guys as a resource to getting well and taking care of yourself during this pandemic. And we are here nationwide, online. You can find out more information about what the online appointments look like at drswarren.com. This is the Wellness Radio, and we'll see you guys right after the break.
All right, guys. So we'll continue to talk through the break here. Again, as we're also live broadcasting this via radio as well as on Facebook. So if you see us kind of going back and forth there, that's what we're doing. So as you guys are listening on Facebook Live, I would love it if you guys would leave your questions on here. We love to answer questions as we're going throughout this. And again, this can be about anything. You can talk about if you have questions about maybe COVID-19, if you have questions about how to boost your immune system, if you have questions about any thyroid issues, hormone imbalance. I actually did last Monday I did a virtual consult with a patient from here, from Chattanooga, which is kind of cool. And literally in the midst of COVID-19, we talked about how to improve his testosterone levels naturally and how to regain his energy, right? So again, we talk about everything in our virtual consults, because just because we're dealing with something like a pandemic like COVID-19 does not mean that we ignore all of the underlying things that you were dealing with before. Actually, it's more important now to go ahead and take care of the things that you were dealing with before, because that will exacerbate again, your issues with whether fighting off COVID-19 or if you get COVID-19, being able to, get rid of it. So you have to deal with these underlying issues. So for him, it was testosterone issues, and we started to dive into that. And again, he started to see, wait a second, if I piece these things together, I don't have to just rely on pellets, for the rest of my life. I don't have to rely on exogenous forms of testosterone, that there are ways to balance that out, which I think are super important. So again, it can be about anything. So make sure that you leave your questions here on Facebook Live so that we can answer them about, you and your family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to be here. I am looking down, getting all of our video set up in case anyone is commenting or anything like that. But let's talk about, before we get on live, what we're doing here at home. Yeah. If you guys saw our supplement counter, I'll have to take a picture and update it on here on our page. But what are we doing right now to protect ourselves? Yeah,
so again, the number one thing that were doing even before this is we take adequate amount of vitamin C on a regular basis. And so, this is one that we can dive into more in depth, but vitamin C is something that's essential in our household that we do on a regular basis with our kids, with ourselves. We know that, again, the reason we do it is because we're mimicking nature, right? So we're one of, I think it's 3 known animals that don't produce our own vitamin C, along with primates and bats and I don't know, maybe another one. But anyway, so we don't produce our own vitamin C. But in nature, animals, when they're under stress or when they're sick, they produce more vitamin C, right? And so why is that important? Because vitamin C, we know, affects not only being able to support stress levels with your adrenals and, again, the way that you adapt to stress. We also know it has some amazing benefits, antioxidant benefits, and benefits for the immune system itself. And so, we've really been making sure that that we've really been making sure that we're taking plenty of vitamin C on a regular basis. So that's a big one. And again, I'll dive into the details of that as well.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Wellness Radio. We're so excited to be here live from our home, drinking our coffee, social distancing. But we're excited, guys. This is the Wellness Radio. We're here every Saturday morning from 10 to 11. And today we have a special 2-hour show. So we're going to be talking about everything that people have asked us this week. We're going to talk about everything that we think is really, really important. We want to give you guys information on how to be well and how to be in control of your health during this pandemic. So our office is located in Hamilton Place. We're right across from the YMCA next to the Home Depot, both of which might be closed right now. Wait, no, I think Home Depot's still open.
Man, everybody's trying to get their home stuff, all done. I think they technically keep it open for the essential, construction workers and because I know they can continue to do stuff. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. We're right next to the Home Depot, so if you pass over there, you can pop right in. Just make sure you call ahead of time because we don't let anyone just come in right now. But we do, you can find us at doctorswarren.com and on Facebook at Doctors Warren. Right before the break, we talked about how now more than ever is it really important to take care of your health. I talked about how one of the reasons we're still open right now is because the last place you want to be right now is the hospital, urgent care, doctor's office even. And so we're a resource here in Chattanooga for anyone that needs to work on their health, whether, supportive care, say, hey man, my hormones are out of control, I'm fatigued, I'm just overwhelmed right now. We're there as a resource in person and online. Yeah. And we're doing a lot of pain management right now. Natural. Yeah. We get down to the cause. We don't treat your symptoms. But our goal is that you can live a full life right now. The last thing you need is internal problems when the outside environment is crazy. So if you want to know more of what that virtual appointment looks like, you can go to doctorswarren.com. You can see the coaching menu on there. Or if you'd like to come in and get yourself checked, We are still open. We're doing very limited scheduling. Even with the stay-at-home order, you can get that. We're doing these consults discounted for the whole month because it's crazy out there, and we want to be able to help you guys. You can give Heidi a call at 423-362-5360. Now, I wanted to share this because I shared an article on our page this past week, and it was written by a medical doctor, and how your diet can help flatten the curve. This is a really big deal. Because again...
Wait, medical doctor said that?
Yeah, a medical doctor said that.
Wow.
But this is a big deal because when we started hearing about people hoarding food, or like people just buying a bunch of food, Dr. Nathan and I were like, we got a little nervous because we're like, oh crap, like we should go get food, not because we want to like stock up, but because we literally have no food. So we were so nervous about what it was going to look like when we went to the grocery store. And then we went to the grocery store, and everything that we buy was fully stocked. Like it was all there. The vegetables, the good meats, like, I mean.
I'd say there's might even been more.
In abundance. But the problem is that right now, when we're stressed out, when we're overwhelmed, when we're scared, when we just don't know, when we're bored, when we're emotional, when we're aggravated because we're home with the kids, or, you know, husbands or wives.
You haven't felt that, right?
Not at all. We don't realize that, you know, a lot of what I do in regards to my coaching with women is changing their relationship with food. Food is not good or bad. Food is not meant to like help you deal with these emotions. Food is not something you just do. It's not a whatever thing. Food is nourishing or it's not.
Ooh.
Food either helps you be well or it helps you create disease. It is not good and bad inherently. So every time that you make a decision with the foods that you're eating, every meal, you are choosing disease or you're choosing wellness. It's all in the foods. It's all in what you put inside your mouth. And so this medical doctor wrote this, and I thought, I mean, it's a longer article. I'll reshare it here on our Facebook Live if you guys find us on Facebook. But let me go ahead and break it down into 3 different sections as to why right now the foods that you're eating will help flatten the curve. The first thing, I mean, he goes deeper. Okay, he goes deep into this in the article. But the first is higher intake of specific nutrients appear to boost the immune system. What? There's foods that affect the immune system? Because for some reason, there's medical doctors out there. I mean, there's even some oncologists that like food does nothing. Whatever, eat whatever you want. That's ridiculous.
Should be borderline malpractice.
Yeah, so they boost the immune system while low intakes lead to less effective immune responses and higher susceptibility to infection. So this is the question I ask. What he's saying is that there's foods that have been shown to help your immune system, and there's foods that have been shown to decrease your immune system and allow you to get infections more. But the one thing I always ask is it that the foods that we're eating is going to make our immune system better? Or is it the fact that you're chronically missing these nutrients and your body needs them so bad that when you finally put it inside your body can work normally?
Yeah.
That's the problem. We're eating so much food that has hardly any nutrients in it. The second thing he talks about is, experience from other infectious disease outbreaks, meaning let's learn about what's happened in the past, makes clear that malnourished individuals have a higher risk of becoming ill, a longer duration of illness, and greater risk of death. The problem right now is not age. It's not age. It's how healthy is the body when you're exposed to an infection. And let me go ahead and tell you this. Studies have looked at right now a big issue, a big pandemic, is overweight individuals still being malnourished.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Malnourished doesn't mean like you're starving and you're skinny. Malnourished means is that you're not getting what your body needs. That canola oil, sugar-filled fast food, the frozen things that you throw in your microwave or in the oven, what studies are showing is that you think those calories are going in and doing something for your body when you're actually so malnourished, even though you're holding on to fat.
Yeah.
The nutrients matter. And finally, finally, beyond older age, the risk of severe COVID-19 illness and death are highest among people who have other conditions, such as cardiovascular disease and diabetes. These conditions weaken the heart's ability to handle stress, while diabetes also weakens the immune system. Both cardiovascular disease and diabetes are linked to chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body. You know, I spoke with my dad the other day, and he was like, man, there's a lot of people that have died, and every life matters. There's no doubt about that. But I want us to be real right now. Right now, there's about 6,200 people that have died. I looked up stats from the CDC in 2016. They had 800,000 in a year episodes of heart attack, heart disease, and deaths because of cardiovascular disease. 800,000 a year.
Yeah.
In 2016, and that hasn't gone down. So we have to stop and take a second. Like, maybe, I hope this is a wake-up call for everyone that might be nervous out there about what's going on in this world, that you have to take care of your own health. No one else is going to do it for you. Not your doctor, not your, heck no, is your insurance company going to do it? Like, they just recently, Blue Cross Blue Shield recently decided to cover testing, everything you need. If you are not taking care of your health, you end up a statistic within the healthcare system. And there's that small percentage that have genetic things like type 1 diabetes where, that's really, really tough, But even asthma in children, guys, that was never so high. I see a lot of parents that are so scared because their kids have asthma. Hey, we got to look at what's going on with their immune system. We got to go, what's going on with their lung development, what happened in their health history, and how do we help support that? But this is not normal. What's happening in America and across the world is not normal. What's happening is we're not well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it's so true when you're looking at, especially like those comorbidities. That's why I don't read most of the news that's out there, because it's crap, right? It's absolute crap. They're posting things like, oh, healthy dad of 3 dies of COVID-19. And they're specifically putting that to drive fear into people that says, oh, I can be healthy and I can die from COVID-19. And then you start to read into it and the guy has a chronic high blood pressure. He had, other comorbidities going on. Remember the definition of health in America. The definition of health in America is not healthy at all, right? You can be considered, you can go into your doctor and be on blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, and maybe even a heartburn medication and be considered healthy. That is not healthy. Your body is breaking down as we speak. That is not health at all. So we have to change our definition of what health is. Health is based on how well you function, not on how well you feel. How well do you function? And so again, when we change our definition of health, we start to look at it completely different. And again, this is why Dr. Rebecca says more than ever, it is time to start taking care of your health. If we don't address the underlying issues before, we end up in this position over and over and over again. And again, anything can take you out, whether it's the COVID-19 or whether it's the pneumonia or flu or whatever it is. If you have all of these comorbidities going on, you are more susceptible to all forms of disease. Why? Because your body's breaking down. But guess what? You can start the tools to rebuild it, right? And that's what we're going to be going over today. So, we got to take another quick break. But as Dr. Rebecca mentioned before, we're always letting people know, especially right now, because we get, anywhere from 15 to 20 questions on Facebook, really every couple days asking, what can we do about our health? What can we do during this COVID-19 time? What can we do to improve, certain things like diabetes is a big question I'm getting asked on a regular basis right now, because most people are seeing that diabetes is a major comorbidity for COVID-19. And so again, if you want those questions answered, if you want to sit down with us one-on-one and be able to dive into your health, we've got a couple ways that you can do that. You can either do that in office, one-on-one appointment, again, away off hours. We have spread out our appointments in the office to make sure it's a safe environment for you. And again, we had a lot of people take advantage of that this last week, which was fantastic, and start diving into your health that way. Or we can do it virtually as well. We've been doing this for now almost a couple years, doing virtual health appointments, talking to people all across the country, or right here in Chattanooga where we are, from the comfort of your own home, and start that process as well. And again, the special that we're doing right now is it's all the same, right? Instead of being 120 to 150, it's only 45 to start sitting down and actually have that consult as well. So you can give Heidi a call at our office. That number is 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. 5360, and you can let her know that you want to sit down with either myself or Dr. Rebecca, right? If you have a preference, that's okay too. We're not gonna be upset if you want to sit down with her. I might be a little heartbroken, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. But 423-362-5360. And when we get back from the break, we're going to be talking live about everything you want to know about COVID-19 and beyond, how to take care of your health. This is Wellness Radio. We'll see you right after the break.
Oh wait, I'm like waving at you guys, but all right, guys. Hey Ben, good morning.
Good morning, Ben. Good to see you on here. I saw Chris. What's up, Dr. Chris? Man, good to see you on here as well. So I left off in the last part of our live here before we went back live on the radio talking about vitamin C. So I think we should kind of go back to that just to give more information while we're on Facebook Live. But vitamin C is one that we've been doing pretty much every day, even before this outbreak happened. But it's even more important now to really make sure that you're having that throughout the day. So we talked about we want to mimic nature, right? So when I look to nature with vitamin C, I always think about number one, how much do comparable animals that weigh very similar to us, how much do they consume from their diet on a regular basis? So if we look at like primates, for example, we look at like monkeys that weigh about 25 to 30 pounds. They're consuming on average around 600 milligrams of vitamin C from their diet preventatively on a daily basis. So again, if you're looking at your kids, how much should they take? You can literally look at the weight of that primate, right? So 25 to 30 pounds, taking 600 milligrams, and again, base it on the weight of your child, right? That's how much you can give your child. The other way is we're looking at gorillas. So now we're looking at adult human. They're taking in around 4,200 to 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C from their diet on a regular basis. So again, preventatively, that's one way that we could do it. Now, I will say, and we've learned this the hard way, at least in my experience, is you don't have to take all that at one time. You can spread out the dose throughout the day so that way you're not hitting bowel tolerance, which I think is, vitally important.
So this matters because a lot of you guys are not taking the right amount of vitamin C. Like, there's people that will just take some, and let me go ahead and tell you, we're going to give you brands because someone messaged me and asked, like, what brands do you guys like or what do you guys recommend? Emergency is not a good way to get your nutrients or vitamin C at all. You want to get good quality. But what I was going to say is a lot of you guys are just not taking enough. You're not taking enough to influence what's going on. And I want to point out another thing. What we do know about vitamin C is that it works together within the adrenals. And so what we find is that depending on where cortisol is, if cortisol is over the top and your adrenals are stressed, you will be depleted even more from vitamin C.
Yeah.
Like if, meaning stress, overall in pain, you got symptoms, you're wired and tired, thyroid problems, like a majority of people I see have adrenal stuff going on. And so if your adrenals are off, that's going to deplete your vitamin C, and you want to make sure that you have enough vitamin C in there. So it's not just this little packet of emergency is taking enough of it so that you can actually do well with it. Good morning, Angela. Good to see you on here.
I was laughing for a second because we have our computer pulled up and like there's a picture of us on the thing and like it stopped on my face and I look like a bug or something.
You always look weird on there. Yeah. So vitamin C, the brands that we love, and you can see our vitamins. I mean, it's going to be a little tougher now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I also am very cautious about buying supplements off of Amazon. I'm going to give you guys that heads up, because there's some companies like overseas that will grab a brand and pretend to be that brand. Like we knew like a year or two ago, Designs for Health was really frustrated. They made us sign a contract again that we're not selling their stuff on Amazon because people were selling it and they didn't know where they were getting it from or who they were. So you want to either go directly through the company, go through a store that you trust, or go, again, our website, doctorswarren.com, go to our Wellevate store. But we do like liposomal vitamin C from Dr. Mercola.
Yeah, there's other forms too, liposomal, like on our Quicksilver Scientific makes a liposomal. I know that Thorne Research makes a liposomal vitamin C. So there's several of them out there that again we have on our Wellevate store. I think we have a couple on our Revelation Health store as well too, if you need to look there. But yeah, if you can get liposomal, liposomal goes directly into the blood, it travels via lymphatic system into the bloodstream, so it's going to get there a lot quicker. It's going to be more, closely related to like an IV vitamin C as far as serum levels. So. All right, guys. Welcome back to Wellness Radio. We are your health experts, Dr. Nathan Warren. There we go. Okay.
We were live.
Yeah, hey guys, welcome back to Wellness Radio. I'm your health expert, Dr. Nathan Warren. I'm here with Dr. Rebecca Warren. Listen, we're like tag teaming radio, Facebook, all at the same time here from our home. So things are a little like,
If you hear yelling in the background here in like 30 minutes or something, no one's dying. It's just our 4-year-old and 2-year-old. They might, I think I locked the door. I hope they don't run in here. Oh, special. This is just such a crazy time. We're right along there with you guys. Yeah. We know it can be stressful, but you've just got to find some good out there. You've just got to look for the positive. Like, I'm the type of person that can be pretty anxious, when things don't go when things don't go my way. Like, when external factors mess up my plan, I don't deal very well with that. But the one thing I feel like God's teaching myself and so many people out there is you got to take a step back and you got to find the good in the chaos.
Yes.
And you have to focus on that, because my goodness, you'll be ill.
Yeah.
You will be ill physically, you'll be ill mentally. This past week I was so excited to have Andrea Moody on our Facebook Live. Guys, if you go on to Doctors Warren, we'll be getting them onto YouTube as well. Man, watch that Facebook Live with Andrea Moody. She's a counselor, and we talked about signs to be aware of, that you're just mentally kind of hitting your boundaries, and ways to start implementing tools and techniques, because it was even a wake-up call for me where I was like, okay, I got to take a step back and realize I need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. You need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, because we want to be there for you guys and serve you guys during all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, the more that I lose my health, I know the more that it affects everybody else out there, right? So it's more of a time to say, hey, we've got to make sure that we're prioritizing our health more than anything. And a lot of you guys, you're at home, right? So there's no better time than now. Go ahead and start working on it. What else are you working on? So just really own in on some of the foundational principles of health. And one of the things we've been talking about on Facebook Live, previously, is some of the things that we're doing at home, which I think are important to make sure that we're hitting, right? So we talked about vitamin C preventatively doing, as an adult, 4,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. With kids, again, per 25 pounds, about 600 milligrams per 25 pounds. You can kind of do the math there from a preventative standpoint. It's
Vitamin
great.
C is huge. If you can find some. Yeah. And in our office, if you guys are watching this, we are putting in another big order. We've been putting in big orders of vitamin D, immune boosting supplements, vitamin C. And we're selling out. We're getting back in. We're going to be continuously. But vitamin C is going to be a big thing. And I'll say this, guys, if your adrenals are shot, you have to, what does that mean is if you've ever been stressed, if you feel a little off right now, if you're exhausted, fatigued, wired and tired, fearful, that's going to elicit a cortisol response. And the more you use up that cortisol, the more depleted you'll get with vitamin C, because it works within the adrenals. So what we said on the Facebook Live is that you want to take enough vitamin C so that you are taking them out for yourself, like your threshold. Because a lot of people take some and they're like, I feel like it doesn't work, or they take emergency, like we don't recommend that one. And then they're just not seeing the results. So we take a lot of vitamin C. Our kids love the Designs for Health. We sell that on our store, doctorswarren.com. Go to store, Wellevate. You just have to register for an account, because it's all these practitioner brand, really great brands. But we do the buffered vitamin C, which is a powder. And so we can put it in water, and we can give our kids a ton of it. They love it. And they love it because it tastes kind of like juice. And then Angela on our Facebook Live was saying she loves Sufficient C. My kids love that one. So that's a really good one. Right now, more than ever, you want to put vitamin C into your body. Yeah, and
in an acute situation, like acute infection, so it's different than preventative amounts, right? So when you're talking about like acute situation of infection with vitamin C, what we've been recommending is that you do, about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams every hour or two that you're awake. So that's a lot, right? So that means by the time you go to bed, you've probably had 35 to 40,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And so some people are like, holy smokes, that's crazy, that's a lot. But again, that is what it takes inside of the body to really help to boost the immune system. So there's really, from a standpoint of an acute situation, there's really no clinical, amount that says this is how much you take. So this is what you got to do. Experts out there say you take enough and for long enough till your symptoms go away, right? Yeah. I mean, that's literally it. I'll give you guys a really cool thing. A week and a half ago, actually probably less than a week, so maybe a week ago, Wuhan, China, they actually shipped in, it was like 50,000 tons of ascorbic acid capsules or pills. 50,000 tons. We're talking about like 165 billion capsules or tablets of vitamin C ascorbic acid. Again, why? Because they know the power of vitamin C. It is absolutely essential during this time.
They've
right?
been doing IV vitamin
essential.
C.
Yeah.
I think they started doing in New York. And the article that I came across was like, we're not talking about the treatments of vitamin C for people that have coronavirus because it's not a sexy drug.
Sexy drug, yeah.
That's what they said. It's just not a sexy drug. And so there's things, this is the problem again. A lot of people are out there like, well, is this, you can't say this is immune boosting or is this immune boosting? The truth is this, we're lacking so many vital nutrients. Or like I told you with our cortisol, like we're lacking, we're not getting out in the sun. And our livers are congested, so we're not synthesizing and producing enough vitamin D, hormone D in our body, which is essential for the immune system. We're not consuming enough things that are high in vitamin C. And on top of that, we're stinking stressed out. So we don't have enough vitamin C in our body. We're not producing enough glutathione, which is the most potent antioxidant. We're so inflamed. So the problem is this, that our body does not have what it needs to do what it's good at.
Yeah.
And that's heal. And then add on to that if we have any other symptoms. But now when we talk about supplementation, when we talk about people getting adjusted right now and taking care of themselves, when we talk about getting fresh air and grounding, we're saying that because that's what your body needs. These things are not going to heal you. These things will support your body, so your body needs what it needs to heal, what it needs to do to heal. And so we have to go on a break. I want to let you guys know we're going to do this every segment. We're here for 2 hours today. Guys, if you need our help, we do virtual consulting and health coaching. We'll coach you over time on how to be well and achieve your health goals. I do a lot of thyroid stuff. You have your men's group. We got to talk about that soon. But you coach a group of men. Man, people are losing weight. Their testosterone is going up.
They're reversing their diabetes.
Their blood sugar right now more than ever. Diabetes is one of the biggest comorbidities that will cause complications with COVID. So we have a lot of online resources. We determine what you need after your first consult. Or we are still open in office. So we're doing a lot of, pain, headaches, back pain, low back pain, knee pain, anything at all that's going to stress your body out right now we're doing. And we're doing for the whole month. We're going to do, instead of 120, 150 for those appointments, 45, and it includes everything. So this is our number, guys, 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. We are here for you locally here in Chattanooga and nationwide, guys. This is Wellness Radio. We'll see you right after the break.
All right, guys. So anyway, going back, I love it how you talked about these nutrients support an innate immune system, right? Like your immune system, like whether you're talking about food, supplements, sunshine, clean air, water that we bring in, these things support your body's innate healing abilities, right? So at the end of the day, when somebody survives COVID-19, they don't survive it because the medication is magical and amazing. They survive it because what? Because the body responds to the medication and then is innately able to heal and function well. When somebody survives COVID-19, again, at home, right, it's not because of the vitamin C that you take or the vitamin D that you take. It's because the body takes that as building blocks, and it supports the innate immune system and healing capabilities of the body itself. It's always the body that heals, right? So one of the things that I always tell people is there's nothing magical about, the apple or the blueberries that you we consume on a daily basis. What's amazing and just wonderful and absolutely just magical and a blessing is the way that your body is able to take those blueberries, break it down, assimilate it, and turn it into living tissue and support cellular processes and support the way your cells are able to, again, neutralize and get rid of something like an infection or be able to neutralize and stop the spread of viral infection inside of the body. That's what's super amazing. So again, it's the innate immune system and the innate healing power of the body that's so fantastic. So we talked about vitamin C. I think we hit that pretty well. If you guys have more questions about that, you can definitely ask it. But did you have something you wanted to add?
I saw Ruth just got on. Ruth, you need to watch what we just talked about, vitamin C. You have a lot of questions about vitamin C. Watch that segment. I want to add this too, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Yeah. And we mentioned it during the radio show, is what is healthy? What is health? Yeah. I see a lot. That's why I say get off social media, stop watching the news. A healthy dad, a healthy 16-year-old, a healthy 5-year-old. What is health? I, on a daily basis in my office, am coaching, I'm doing consults with women, beautiful women. Like, I think about, they have great smiles. They take care of themselves. They look so good on the inside, and yet they'll sit across from me and cry because of how horrible they feel on the inside. Like, they will sit there and talk to me about how hard it is for them to feel the way they're feeling because no one really understands because they look fine. So you look at someone, you hear something, and you think this person is healthy, and that's not true.
Right.
Struggling with depression is not healthy. Struggling with anxiety is not healthy. Having a thyroid issue and then getting on thyroid medication is still not healthy. Like, you never got down to the cause. Having PCOS or endometriosis and then getting on birth control is not healthy. Having blood sugar issues and you not know about it because your doctor's not testing your fasting insulin or A1C is not healthy. Guys, you can have heart disease building up within your body, and the first sign for you is a heart attack. So the day before someone has a heart attack, how well do you think they're feeling? They're feeling fine, but they are not healthy. I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer when I was 19 years old. When I walked into my doctor's office, I looked and I felt fine. I had no symptoms, and then I sat there to hear that my thyroid had created cancer. I was not healthy. At 16, I had a gallbladder attack that sent me into the emergency room because I thought I was having a heart attack. Before I walked out of the movie theater and that happened, how did I feel? I felt fine. Yep. How someone looks and how they feel on the outside are not good markers as to what healthy is. And I say that because I want to take away a lot of the fear and anxiety that people can be feeling right now about COVID and about the coronavirus. What we do know is that if you're not well internally, you are more susceptible to all types of infections, not just COVID, but the flu, bacterial infection, guys. So it's so important to take care of yourself and to address the symptoms.
All right, guys, welcome back to Wellness Radio. I'm your health expert, Dr. Nathan Warren. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Dr. Rebecca Warren. We're also live on Facebook on Doctors Warren, DRSWARREN on Facebook. Again, you guys can leave your questions here on Facebook if you have any specific questions about you, about your kids, about anything that you're dealing with as far as health. Specifically, we're talking about COVID-19, and we're talking about some of the things that we're doing at home to make sure that we're protecting ourselves and our health. We're talking about the amazing capability of our immune system and how fearfully and wonderfully we are made and how well our bodies are designed to actually heal. So again, if you're just now tuning in, welcome. We're super glad to have you guys here. And again, we're a resource here, not only in Chattanooga, right, located in the Hamilton Place area, right across from the YMCA, next to the Home Depot. And again, we're still seeing patients in there. We're an essential healthcare practice. So again, we're spreading people out. We're doing all kinds of off hours.
We're working a lot, guys. Yeah. We are working so much. And I laugh because I I see other people, which is a good thing. You know, a lot of people are struggling out there. But like, I told him, I was like, Dr. Nathan, I was like, maybe I should go get a puzzle because everyone else is not doing anything. I'm like, wait a minute, no. Like, I'm working overtime, which is good. This is what we want to be doing. We want to be taking care of people. We want to help. We want to keep you out of the hospitals, urgent care, and doctor's offices. Now, Dr. Nathan, before we went on the break, you talked about vitamin C. And so is there a difference between ascorbic acid vitamin C and liposomal vitamin C?
Is there a difference? Yes. So it's really, when you're talking about, it's a delivery. It's the delivery that's different. So when you're talking about just vitamin C, whether it's ascorbic acid, whether it's sodium ascorbate, either way, if it's just, again, coming from that, maybe you're getting it from like food sources like acerola cherry, camu, something like that. Liposomal and regular, ascorbic acid, they're going to deliver different, right? So when you're talking about taking, ascorbic acid or sodium ascorbate just in pill form or tablet form, it's going to have to go through the digestive system first and be assimilated and then again go throughout the body and into the cells. Whereas liposomal is going to be more similar to like an IV, right, type vitamin C, where it's going to get and raise your serum levels a lot quicker. So you get to bypass digestive, some of the digestive processes. And again, it's going to get to your bloodstream quicker. That's why, if you can get it, we recommend liposomal vitamin C if you can get it as far as like getting into the bloodstream. But really all of it works. Like it all works, which is an amazing thing. But that's the difference. Liposomal is, literally surrounded by fat and gets in the bloodstream quicker.
Yes. And so we do have a special 2-hour show. We're kind of wrapping up this first hour. So I want to take a second as we're closing up this show and talk about Chattanooga. Support your local businesses, guys. There's so many great, amazing small businesses that are providing a lot of great food and nutrients and things for you. I want to call out some of those businesses. The local juice, guys, in Southside is doing curbside. Right now, you want to talk about how do you get all those nutrients in? We got the local juice in Southside, amazing, nutritious juices that you can get there. I know Southern Squeeze is also a juice shop in North Shore that's still open. Guys, Sisu Sauna is renting out infrared sauna pods. If you see our Facebook Live, that's our sauna pod. We had to put it off to the side. Infrared sauna increases internal temperature so that you can fight things, you can detox, and you can cleanse your body. I know Public House. We have, what else do we have? Bluegrass Grill.
Extreme Auto.
Extreme Auto in Rossville. Guys, we're going to do something special this upcoming week to put these businesses on blast. So if you guys will go to Facebook, Doctors Warren, go to Facebook, like and follow. We're going to be doing some really fun stuff this upcoming week to support the local businesses here in Chattanooga. This is the Wellness Radio. We're going to be answering your Facebook questions here on live, but we'll be coming back second hour.
Cool.
See you then.
All right, guys. So as we're in this process, we're gonna continue to answer some questions here. Have been using DACHA liposomal vitamin C. Is this as good as the Designs for Health Stellar C? Yeah, I mean, again, any vitamin C is great, right? Like when it comes to something like I love Designs for Health for a reason, because they've been around for years and the quality of products they produce is phenomenal. But that doesn't mean that it's the only great. But there's many great brands out there. So the fact that you have some liposomal vitamin C, it's amazing. They're both going to work well. I would just suggest doing one at a time, right? And again, then you can use the other one after you're done with the one that you have. And so remember, liposomal vitamin C is delivered differently than other, than just a regular type of ascorbic acid or sodium ascorbate. So what can you do? You can do, if you're doing liposomal vitamin C, you can take more of it at once, and it's okay because it's bypassing digestion. You're not going to get some of those loose stools. And then if you're doing the other, you need to spread it out throughout the day, right? So that's kind of my take on vitamin C there. Now, some of the other ones that I think are worth to dive into, and again, we can talk about it as well. And one of my favorites is vitamin D, right? This is one that we've been using for a while. Even when we get adequate amounts of sunshine, this is something that we still use. But, for us, It's because we test our blood levels. I know you test your blood levels on a regular basis to see. Dr. Rebecca tends to be a type of person that, her vitamin D levels, if we don't watch them, they'll stay low, right? They'll stay low. So we really have to make sure that we're watching that. And it seems like when you're looking at studies, it's more towards like the darker the skin is, the more likely, especially the more northern you live over the equator, the more likely you are to have less vitamin D serum levels. So your vitamin D levels are going to be lower compared to others. So that's something to make sure that you're watching. And if you guys have tested your vitamin D levels, we want between 60 and 90 is going to be an optimal reading for vitamin D. And so you got to do what it takes to get that up, right? You got to make sure that you're getting that serum level up towards that level. So let's say if you tested and yours is in the 20s or the teens, or what was the one woman that you saw that was like a 4 or a 5, which I'm like, I didn't even know how a person survives at that type of level. You got to get that up now, right? So what we've been talking, just as kind of a general rule of thumb, everybody's a little bit different, based on your physiology, but a general rule of thumb, we're telling at least adults around, 5 to 10,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. We always suggest taking it with fat, right? With a meal. It's going to help with the absorption of it. Again, if you have the capability of taking it with vitamin K, that's always going to be much better. If you have the capability of taking it with other fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin E, some minerals, that's even better too. That's the way it's really kind of found in nature. But get your vitamin D in. And when you have a chance, get outside in the sunshine. That was one of the things that I think is whether you got a backyard, whether you got a patio, I don't care what it is, just get outside, try to get some sunshine on your body. It goes even further than just helping the body to convert vitamin D. Like literally the sun is energy to your cells. We're talking about literally structuring the water inside of your cells and your cell membranes. You have to get sunlight. So make sure that you're getting plenty of that as well. And in an acute situation, vitamin D, we say if you're in an acute infection, you're going to up your vitamin Ds short term, right? I'm telling you, again, people, 50,000 IUs, right? If you're in an acute infection, especially when we're talking about COVID-19, over the course of a few days, 50,000 IUs of vitamin D per day. And people are like, Dr. Nathan, isn't that going to create, a toxicity issue of vitamin D? Not if you're doing it for a few days. It's not. If you do that for months, yes, it's going to create toxicity. We're not trying to do that. We're talking about an acute situation. Load up on your vitamin D. And again, I'm suggesting 50,000 IUs of vitamin D during that time.
Yeah, but also make sure that you're working with a doctor to keep an eye on you.
I'm not, this should not take the place of your medical advice, all that kind of
No,
stuff.
I meant like, if you guys are in an acute infection, talk to us. Yeah. Let's see where you're at. Get some blood work done. Yeah. Make sure that what you have going on, like where you're at, where you're starting at. Because I just keep thinking about a lot of the things that I'm reading about people that are just, not well going into this pandemic, and then their immune system's just overwhelmed. I think of all the women that I'm working with that have thyroid issues, that have adrenal issues, women that have like cycle issues like PCOS, which just so you know, a ton of women have, a lot of young women have. And PCOS isn't just a hormone issue, it's a metabolic issue. It is insulin blood sugar issue, which matters right now because one of the comorbidities that can make this worse is a blood sugar issue. It's diabetes. And so here we have, I'm seeing a lot more where people are like, young people are getting it. Young people are ending up in the hospital. Well, yeah, because young people can still be sick and they can be unwell. And so, what's really important is understanding that, okay, we got to get what's happening internally. We got to get it under control. We got to get the PCOS. We got to get the endometriosis. We got the thyroid stuff under control because it's going to affect that. Men, testosterone, prostate. All these things, heart issues, those are all going to be associated with a blood sugar issue. And so I do want to touch on that, like blood sugar issues. Like, how can we know for sure if we have that problem? Because I coach a lot of women that I find their blood sugar issue and a few men, I have found their blood sugar issue before they realize it. They just haven't felt well. They feel off. And then they, will come in to see me. I'm like, great, let's get some blood work. And so how do you know? Let me point out some things about blood sugar issues. Number one, getting blood work done like a CBC, CMP, you want to do it fasting. You want to do a fasting CBC that's going to have glucose on there. You want to do fasting insulin, and you want to do an A1C. Because a lot of people will be at the 90 mark when they look at their blood sugar. Like if they do their glucose, their CBC, they'll be like 97, 95. Where you want to be is around the 80s, underneath in like the 85, 84. The A1C, the lower the better, and your fasting insulin, lower the better. You have to look at those correctly to know if you have a blood sugar issue.
I love it, man. That's good. Yeah, and again, as we go live back on the radio, if you guys have questions, let us know, right? Just post them here on Facebook. We'll try to answer them. I know Dr. Becca's looking on this one. I've got it on this one as well. So again, ask your questions. We'll answer them live on the radio as well, too. All right, guys? And again, if we have a little bit of a pause, it's because we're going towards the other side too. So, I think during this hour, I really want to make sure that we're addressing, I want to talk a little bit about, nutrition and diet. I want to make sure that we're hitting that pretty well. Exercise. I want to make sure that we're hitting that as well too, as much as we possibly can. So. I like it. The intro always makes us pause for a second.
Inspiring people to take back their health, coaching them into the future, and empowering them to live to their fullest potential. Find Doctors Warren at doctorswarren.com.
Find us on doctorswarren.com, guys. That's what our radio show is saying right now. Oh, we're about to go live. Hi guys, welcome back to the Wellness Radio. Dr. Rebecca Warren here with Dr. Nathan Warren. We have a special 2-hour show tonight, to this morning.
Tonight, what, are you still asleep?
I feel off. Everything just feels off, and I feel like my kids know because they're off and they make me off and they're cuckoo and makes me cuckoo. Anyways, so we're right there along with you guys if you're listening to us right now. We are Doctors Warren. We have a health center in Hamilton Place here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Located right next to the Home Depot, right across from the YMCA, and we do virtual health coaching all over the U.S. You can find out more about us on Facebook at Doctors Warren, because we are live right now. You can see us. You can see Dr. Nathan. You can see our buffalo in the background right there. And on Doctors
Warren, my favorite picture.
On doctorswarren.com. So we're talking about all things health. We're just talking about everything that people have asked us about this past week. What we're seeing in our office. We are still open because we are an essential healthcare office, but boy, have we had to change everything in our office to make sure that we're creating an environment where we can support people being well locally here in Chattanooga, but also being safe, because we want to be safe and we want you to be safe. So of course, even as we have a stay-at-home order, we're still an essential healthcare. And I told somebody this past week, I'm like, man, I wonder if more people are going to come see us because they're so stinking bored at home and they can only go to a few places.
I had a lot of people say
into our
I'm just so glad to see another person, right?
Yeah, but so we're still doing appointments for anyone that needs our help right now, especially if you've got back pain, neck pain, headaches. A lot of symptoms going on right now to help you guys get well. But we're also still online. So you guys that are watching, we still do a lot of virtual health coaching. We do coaching groups. We have one-on-one coaching. We have an online wellness academy. And so what happens is when you set up a consult for us, we see where you're at. You submit paperwork, any labs, any history you have, and we see where you're at, and then we determine how we can help you, whether that's in group coaching or one-on-one, or whether that's in our academy. So we're doing all of that still. We're still serving, because now more than ever is it so important to be taking care of your health. And so we have that special for the whole month of April. We're in April, right?
Yeah, something like that. We're in a black hole right now.
The whole month of April. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Anyway, so the whole month of April, you guys can set up a virtual consult with us, or an in-office. We will schedule you off hours to make sure that we can serve you guys. You can give us a call. We're doing that special. It's between $120 and $150. We're only doing it for $45. You can give the office a call at 423 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. So one thing that we want to do is we want to counter a lot of the fear that's out there. We want you guys to be safe, respect and listen to the orders that the city is putting in place. Right now, I know we just got a statewide and a citywide, and you guys, if you're living in a different state, you might be going through that right now. But while you're protecting yourself that way, you have to take care of yourself, your mindset, your immune system, your internal body, and now more than ever, start addressing the symptoms that you had before. Because that's going to determine whether you're getting infected or whether you are able to fight these infections. Not just coronavirus, but any outside infection.
Yeah, it's the terrain theory versus the germ theory, right? And the terrain theory always wins out. The germ theory says every microorganism out there is out there to kill you. So what should we do? We should try to kill and avoid all microorganisms. Guys, just doesn't happen, right? We know in the past 5-10 years with the explosion of research on the microbiome, that doesn't just exist in the gut, but also exists in the lungs. It exists in the mouth, on the skin. We're literally made up of microorganisms, right? So you're more of a bacteria than you are cells. You're more of a viral RNA than you are bacteria, right? Yeah. So, again, we know that it can't just be based on the germ theory. We got to adopt a better way of thinking, which is the terrain theory that says what? It says that your internal terrain, how you build up the health of your internal body by the foundations of health, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, the food that you take in, the exercise that you get, all of these different things actually determine how healthy your terrain is and how well you actually are able to withstand some of the external stresses like COVID-19 or some of the internal stresses like emotional stress from being so fearful and worrying about what the heck is going on with our world right now during this time in this pandemic. So we have to establish a healthy terrain. And so internal body. Yeah, internal body.
And let me go ahead and say this, and I said this on our Facebook Live when we were on a break here, is you guys, you don't know what health is. We've been sold on this fake idea of what health is, because we know that you can have heart disease within your body for years before you have your first heart attack. How does someone feel right before a heart attack? How does someone feel the day before a heart attack? How about the week before a heart attack, the month before a heart attack? Majority of people feel fine. They don't feel optimal, but they live with that and they think they're fine. I have women in my office that come in and they're struggling internally, but on the outside they look put together. They have a great smile. They work. They take care of their kids, and no one knows how much they're suffering internally. I mean, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer when I was 19 years old. Do you know how I felt when I walked into that doctor's office? Completely fine. When I sat across from the doctor at 19 years old, I was young and I was told that I had cancer. At 16, I had such a severe gallbladder attack. I thought I was having a heart attack. They took me to the emergency room. I was hooked up to morphine. Do you know how I felt walking out of the movie theater right before I had my gallbladder attack? I felt fine. All of my health history has been fine until it hasn't been fine. So a lot of people are saying, well, this person was healthy and I heard this person. You don't know someone's health. You don't know what's happening internally. So that's why we're stressing you have to every day be working towards your health being well. You have to do it whether you have symptoms or not. You have to work on it, because what stats say, if you are not actively working on your health today, you will end up like everyone else, which is what? Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, thyroid issues, hormone issues, and so on.
Which kills way more people than COVID-19 right now, right? On a yearly basis. So bottom line is we got to start looking at our health differently. It's how well your body functions, not how well your body feels or how well your body looks. So we have to establish that, right off the bat. So what are some things that improve function? I think we should dive into, what would you say if somebody asks you, what do you think is the most important way to eat during this time when you're at home, right? Again, when you're preparing meals, which I will say is one, I think, positive thing that's happened from this is it's kind of taken people away from what they normally do, just stopping through a drive-through window and picking up fast food, and kind of transition them over to saying, oh, you know what? I got to cook some meals, right? I'm at home. I got to make some meals. I got to start cooking. So what would you say?
So actually, I just had a conversation with someone on Friday or Thursday. I was consulting with one of my virtual clients, and I was talking to her, seeing her food diary and painting her a picture of how she should always think about eating. So what we talk about is paleo, right? Mm-hmm. But what does paleo mean? Even without that word there, what we teach is you have to eat in a way that God created you to eat. You have to eat in a way that our ancestors ate. We have to, remove all processed things and think about what's the closest thing that's going to come from the earth. Because people get stressed out with all the diets. Food, do we do Atkins? Do we do keto? Do we do this? All you need to worry about right now is how do I eat? And if I went and lived like my great-grandparents lived, what would my food look like? What would it look like? You would be eating meat from a cow that actually gets to have some sun and eat some grass. That's what grass-fed, that's what grass-fed means. It means that cows are allowed to do what they were created to do. Okay, what do you think is going to be healthier? Something that comes from a cow that was in the sun and eating grass, butter, or margarine that's created in a lab right off the bat. It's going to be butter. So the way we eat, the most basic form is we think, what's the healthiest, closest thing to the earth? Mm-hmm. We'll eat really good protein, a really good meat. We'll eat some good veggies, and we always add fat. It doesn't have to be complicated, guys. Yeah. I mean, if you want some recipes, you can Google paleo recipes. You can usually find, if I want to make a meatloaf or cookie, if I look up paleo meatloaf recipe or paleo cookie recipe, I know it's going to be an ingredient list that I can trust. Right now, you don't have to be stressed out about doing the whole 30 and being perfect. Yeah. But what you have to think about is I have to go back to the earth in the way that I eat. I have to go back to how our ancestors ate, our great-great-grandparents, that would grow their own food, that would eat with what was available and eat animals that were really healthy.
Yeah, for sure, right? Good quality meat that's grass-fed, grass-finished, or pasture-raised. Wild-caught fish and wild-caught seafood, making sure that you're getting, pastured poultry, so chicken, turkey, those type of things. Sometimes people have wild game, right? Especially a lot of people around here have a lot of venison in their freezer. That's amazing. We had some duck last night, which is really good.
It was interesting cooking it. We were really stressed out.
It's not an easy one to cook.
It's not. We were really stressed out. We're like, oh God, we can't cook this wrong. We got it from Main Street Meats, actually. A little butcher shop. I think it's a butcher shop in South Side. That you guys can get some really good meat from there too.
For sure. Yeah. So again, eating real food, and we're going to continue to dive into this. I know we got to take a quick break. So before we go on break, just like we've been talking about, whether you want a virtual appointment here, maybe you live in Chattanooga and you still want a virtual appointment, you want to just meet with us, face to face. If you want to do that in the office, we are seeing people off hours. Again, making sure that we're taking appropriate, action steps to make sure it's a safe environment for you in our office. But again, start getting down to the root cause of health issues so that we can make sure that we're building up your internal environment, right, to be able to express health and determine how healthy you are as an individual. You can do that in office. We can do that virtually, but it's all the same price, right? We're doing a special for the rest of this month to be able to just work with as many people as we can and help people achieve the health that they've always dreamed of and that they deserve. And so you can give Heidi a call. That number is 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360, and get that set up. Instead of 120 to 150, it's only 45, right? That's what that special is. And again, she'll make sure that she sets you guys up with an appropriate time that works for you, that works for our schedule, and we'll be able to sit down and actually start working on your health and diving into the real cause of your health issues. So again, guys, this is Wellness Radio. We'll see you right back after the break.
I keep going like this. We're not going anywhere.
What is that like? To the next thing, right? To the next thing. So again, we were talking about, nutrition. Let's kind of dive back into that because I want to make sure you guys get this. So again, we talked about high quality meat that you're consuming. Not all meat is created equal, right? It's not created equal. The way that you consume, something like a grain-fed cow or just, regular pork or something like, crappy chicken that's never seen the light of day. Guess what? Those cells that make up that animal are literally going to make up you. So you do not want any of that at all. So we want to make sure that we're getting good quality meat. I think to me that's where we spend the most of our money. is on that. That's where we spend the most of our investment. And so, yeah, we have some good local places here. So if you guys are in Chattanooga, Main Street Meats is a great place that you can get that from. Obviously, your local, health food store like Whole Foods, places like that. But also, if you just want to get it online, you can get it from places like Butcher Box is a great place you can get it from, and you can order in bulk. White Oak Pastures, they're killing it down there in southern Georgia, where you can get all kinds of different, high quality meat. Probably some of the most high quality meat that exists out there. And it's really a ranch and a farm that's taking care of the biodiversity of their soil, making sure that they're regenerative agriculture there. So we love that stuff. So make sure that you're getting great quality meat if you're going to consume it, because crappy quality meat will make you a sick person. High quality meat can, again, if you choose to consume that, can make you a very healthy person. Lots of vegetables, right? Lots of nutrient dense vegetables. Again, consuming high amounts of those. I like to consume the majority of my vegetables, in different forms, right? So some of my vegetables I'll get in raw form. Some of my vegetables I'll get cooked. Especially in things like Instapot. I love using an Instapot to cook some of my vegetables. I always recommend with patients, especially if you're dealing with an autoimmune type disease, or if you're dealing with, some chronic health inflammation issues, I recommend, cooking a lot of your veggies actually in an Instapot or in a crock pot, utilizing things like pressure and kind of slow heat will really do a good job of kind of breaking down some of the anti-nutrients in plants and really help you out quite a bit. So again, consuming high amounts of plant foods is always a great thing. Now, I will have to say, Dr. Rebecca always has to remind me of that, because I will tend to lean towards more eating high amounts of good quality, again, grass-fed, pasture-raised, meat, lots of good healthy fat, and I'll throw in there lots of high antioxidant-rich foods like, raw cacao and blueberries and strawberries and some of those high, berries, mushrooms, things like that. And she'll have to be like, how much leafy greens have you had today? How many cruciferous vegetables have you had today, right? And really vamping that up, during this time. Now, some of you, go ahead, do we have a question?
Yeah, I had missed this question. This was from before. I'm taking vitamin D3, 5,000 IUs. I'm going to double it. She's taking with K. We'll have to take them separately. You can take them together.
Yeah, and
just
take
them
with
with
the
food.
Milk.
Yeah.
That's good.
So if you don't have to split up your vitamin D supplementation.
Yeah, no, you can take it all at the same time.
Welcome back. This is the Wellness Radio. You're here with Dr. Rebecca Warren and Dr. Nathan Warren. We are Doctors Warren. Plural.
Nice.
Doctors.
That should be the intro to her.
Doctors.
I like how she's like dancing to our music, that we hear from our radio show right here. And I was just thinking, our Facebook people probably can't see that, so they just think that we dance to just regular, silence or something on there. But yeah.
So guys, we are our I'm just laughing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, our office is located in Hamilton. Guys, you gotta laugh nowadays. You just you gotta find the things that make you happy and protect that. Get outside the house. Get away from your family if you need to. If they're driving you crazy. And
wait, that sounds like something that you're dealing with right now.
I'm gonna take a
you
bath
talk
today.
About that?
I'm gonna take a bath today, just so you know. I'm gonna get away for 2 hours. And if you hear kids in the background, oh gosh, they're home. Anyway, so our health center is located in Hamilton Place, right across from the YMCA next to the Home Depot. We are still an essential healthcare office. We're doing office visits and new consults, new appointments. We're just we're changing everything. Yeah. We're sanitizing like crazy. Your poor hands. You need to use lotion.
I have been. I've been using shea butter, olive oil. I've been literally soaking it down in that. And still, when you're washing your hands that many times and you're having to use things like sanitizer and cleaning and wiping down everything all the stinking time, I don't really think it matters how much olive oil and shea butter and all those things you use. It wears and tears on you. So, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, we're here, and we're doing all of our virtual online stuff, health coaching, one-on-one group coaching in our academy. And so we spent this past hour and a half talking about all things that you guys have been asking us here on our Facebook Live, that you guys have been messaging us on our Facebook page. You can find us at Doctors Warren or go to our website at doctorswarren.com.
Yeah. So we were diving into food, right? So let's continue to talk about that because I think it's important. Remember, we talked about vitamin C earlier. Guess what? You can get some vitamin C from the food that you consume as well. So some of my favorite forms of vitamin C that are out there are a little bit different than just citrus fruit, right? When people think of vitamin C,
it's always citrus.
That's all
Oranges,
it's
like no.
There's more than that, right? So I thought you were about to say something.
Guys, we're just,
so vitamin C, favorite foods, strawberries, right, are one that I really like quite a bit. Strawberries actually contain a good amount of vitamin C. I believe for every like cup and a half, I think you get around 140 to 160 milligrams of vitamin C from strawberries, right?
I do want to add this too about strawberries is those are one of those foods you want to invest in and get organic.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
What you want to think about is if this is sprayed with something, and I say this because we've done strawberry picking, and we could not eat the strawberries because they got sprayed down. So herbicides or pesticides. Remember, the strawberry is going to be exposed to that. It has soft kind of that skin, and it has a skin that you're going to eat.
Yeah,
that is something you don't want to skip on. You want your strawberries to be organic. And pesticide free.
For sure. Yeah, so strawberries, get some of those in. I know like kiwi is actually really high in vitamin C. And again, you can find those in some grocery stores. I saw those the other day at Whole Foods.
Really?
I almost got them, but then I'm like, I don't know if the kids are, I don't know if the kids are going to, and then also too, I think you have to, know how ripe it is. And so I'm like, am I going to be the guy at Whole Foods that's sitting here grabbing all the kiwis and people are like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to kill everybody out there. So
skin of kiwis?
No, you cut it off. I think.
Okay. You still want it organic.
It's kind of hairy, you know.
You still do want organic kiwis too, though, because it's going to absorb it right in. It's a soft skin.
Yeah, for sure. Some other ones that are out there that I like a lot from a vitamin C standpoint. I know things like leafy greens actually have some vitamin C in it, which are great. Red bell peppers have a lot of vitamin C in it, guys. That's an amazing thing that you can do. So you can make a stir fry with maybe it's grass-fed steak, or you could do something like organic chicken, make you a stir fry, put some red bell peppers in there, put some onions and some garlic, which have shown to have some antiviral properties. Once it's done, put some olive oil on there, which has been shown to have some antiviral properties as well. And again, look at that. You just made something that tastes amazing, and at the same time, you've got a lot of things in there that can really do a lot to strengthen your immune system as well.
You know what's really cool? That as you're talking like this, I was just thinking about your last men's group coaching you did. Mm-hmm. So right now you're coaching 9
group of men,
9 different men. So you kind of break it up into different groups. And what's really cool is this is what you teach in kind of like your group coaching, but very kind of more like towards them, what their goals are, what they have going on, what's specific to men. And it's really cool because for the last, how many weeks has it been now? 7?
7, yeah.
7 weeks. Every week you've been teaching this men. I love it because every time I can see them taking notes, and I can see them asking, I can hear them asking questions. It's really cool, that men can kind of come together and be a part of a group where everyone's getting healthy together. Everyone's celebrating what they have going on.
Yeah.
And I have to mention that because I know there's a lot of men that are listening right now that just don't feel like themselves.
Yeah.
We had the men's workshop, and you talked about how rage and anger can be underlying issues that can lead to depression.
Oh yeah,
right?
For sure. Yeah, big time. I don't think they even realize how much just their testosterone levels will determine how they feel on a regular basis. And one of my things that breaks my heart the most, but also motivates me at the same time, is seeing these men that come in that are middle age. They should still be in vibrancy of their life, and they're really, they talk about relationship issues because again they haven't been able to make love to their spouse in a while because their testosterone levels are low. Plus they're getting hit over here because they're still they're working all these long hours. They're trying to make ends meet with all of these different things. So the pressures of life are destroying their health, and they don't feel like themselves. And so then they get stuck in this vicious cycle where they just don't feel like the man that they felt like before. And the only reason I can talk about it is because I found myself in those cycles, right? where it's like, man, you think that everything is going okay until boom, you realize one day, like, man, I'm exhausted all the time. I don't feel like myself.
You know, worked yourself sick.
I worked myself sick. My immune system is decreased because my hormones are off. You know, I'm not building up muscle like I should. Maybe I'm gaining some weight in unwanted places that are just kind of packing on the pounds there. And so that's where, like, I've got a big heart for that area, right? That's one of my favorite things to do, is to be able to coach men and see them respond. And my men's group has been, I know. It's been so
exciting
amazing
to hear, though. I'm like, this is so cool. I mean, guys, if you're listening to this, and right now is a great time because you don't have to leave your house to do it. If you guys want to sit down and have an appointment with Dr. Nathan to really discuss what's going on with your health, you know, what you want to be like, what kind of life you want to live. I mean, a lot of the men you're seeing, if they don't change their health, they're not working the next 5 years.
That's
In
right,
5 years, they're going to be out of work because of how bad their health can get. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, man, I really want to be able to talk to a man that can kind of understand what might be going on, or, you know, I'm on blood pressure medication, I'm cholesterol medication, or I feel like I'm gaining weight, I'm nothing's changed, but I'm gaining weight, or I can't lose weight. You can set up that virtual consult with Dr. Nathan. He can kind of see where you're at and see if he recommends and see if you're a good fit for his men's coaching group. And you can give Heidi a call to set up that consult. That number's 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. We'll evaluate you. Well, I won't. You will. But I had to bring that up because this last week I heard you talking to the men about what they can do to protect themselves right now, not just from stress. I know, I heard it.
We went through everything, and also too, if you guys are listening live, if you want more information about the next men's group that we're going to start, you know, you can also leave a comment below. So if you're watching this lower, you can shoot us a message and just say more information, you know, about the men's group that we're going to be, again, because I'm going to be starting these periodically now so that we can make sure we do it. I'm even thinking about just like completely doing a virtual one as well. So for anybody that just wants to do it via Zoom, again, we're going to really, you know, hit this thing hard, and it's so much fun. You got Marvin, who's killing it over there with, you know, literally bringing down his blood sugar, seeing his blood pressure improve. He's working hard.
I saw these guys when it started because it was at our talk before everything was shut down, you know, and I've seen them recently. I mean, these people are like, who was it? Someone's complaining about, I didn't know I was gonna have to get new clothes.
That was Marvin, right? He's getting ready to go shop. Tom, you know, literally hitting fasting, doing an amazing job with that. You know, you got Sean, you got Kurt, you got all these men that are just doing amazing things. Really, I'm so proud of them, as you can tell. I could talk about them for days.
I'm proud of them too, and I'm not even a part of the group.
Anyways. I know, it's so good. But anyway, if you want to hear more about that, you know, just give Heidi a call, 423-362-5360. Again, you can set up that appointment. It's only $45, and we can sit down, we can talk about your health issues, and then I can point you in the direction that I think is going to be the best for you. Same thing with Dr. Rebecca. You know, we're just here to serve you guys, to help you build up your health the best way that you can. So 423-362-5360. Let's hit it hard. It's going to be so much fun to dive into health issues. Again, guys, this is Wellness Radio. We'll see you right after the break.
Woo! Well, Michelle's like, add Matt.
Add Matt.
We're going to add Matt. All right. But give him a heads up, okay? Matt's going to be like, oh, I didn't know she did that.
I love it, man. Why is there like, oh, yeah, sign my husband up for it.
Just kidding.
Oh, that's good. Dr. Rebecca, you know, just so you know, if this was like tables are turned, she would have been the one that like sign Dr. Nathan up for it. Let's get him on there.
Anyways, so
that's awesome. Anyway, but yeah, so we can dive into it. You know, we've been kind of all over the place, but it's fun, man. We're just having a good time here.
Yeah.
But we were talking about like food, right? Let's dive back into that because you guys have a pantry load of food. Some of you guys probably have enough food to last you for like 3.5 years. You know, if you were locked in your home forever.
It's crap food. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
But so on Facebook, we go a little bit deeper. So can we touch base on?
Go ahead.
If someone's intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
if they're doing keto right now or if they want to fast.
For sure.
What do we recommend?
So here's what I recommend from this standpoint. So from a fasting standpoint, unless you're under the guide of like a healthcare practitioner, or if you're like working personally with us, it may be a little bit different. But from the standpoint of just you at home, what you can do, I don't recommend right now that you do a block fast. So that means like 3 days to 5 days of a water fast. I don't recommend that from the standpoint. I want you guys to have enough fuel in your body to be able to really, keep the immune system where it needs to be, and making sure that you're doing enough, especially during this time with COVID-19. So what I recommend is instead utilizing something like intermittent fasting. We always try to tell people hit around the 16 to 18 hour mark there. I think is an amazing mark to hit, where you're fasting during that time, drinking lots of water. Maybe you're having some organic coffee, some organic herbal teas, especially during this time, are amazing. And kind of sticking with that, and then eating during that window of about, what would that be, 6 to 8 hours of having 1 or 2 meals during that time, where you're consuming as many good calories as you want, right? And hitting that hard with really good quality organic pasture-raised meat or wild-caught seafood, lots of good healthy fats like olive oil, nuts and seeds, avocados, pastured eggs, raw sprouted nuts and seeds, all of these different types of things. Lots of good, low glycemic fruit like berries and frozen berries, and doing things like lots of vegetables, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, both raw and cooked, and making sure you're getting plenty of that as well. And so intermittent fasting is a powerful tool. Warrior fasting is something that you can do, right? If you wanted to implement a little bit more fasting throughout your week, you could do every other day. You could do a dinner to dinner fast. That's a great way to build, autophagy and break down damaged cells, but at the same time still support your immune system. Consuming lots of bone broth, right, is another great way that you can really boost your immune system. But those are the type of fasting that I would recommend, like right now.
Yeah, I know. I completely agree. I think right now, with a lot of uncertainty or stress, the best thing to do is wherever you're at in regards to your health level is to work on maintaining that. This isn't like the best time to work on going to that next level.
Yeah.
So, because what happens is if we're overwhelmed or if we're stressed, if we're bored or whatever, we're going to find ourselves slipping backwards and making the bad decisions.
Yeah.
But it's not just that you're making these bad decisions during this time, is that that's kind of like a compounded issue. Like being under stress or bored or overwhelmed and being stagnant and not getting out, it's not just going to mean, oh, you just ate bad. That's really where disease is going to start. That's really where you're going to see symptoms once everything has died off. So if you're just starting off and you're like, or you're a mom, you're overwhelmed, listen, I'm not out here doing no 5-day water fast, even though I would love to. Right now, I'm maintaining how I'm eating. I'm maintaining my intermittent fasting and working on supporting my body.
Yeah, no doubt. So we want to make sure that, again, let's kind of avoid the block fasting for right now. Let's hit, whether intermittent fasting every other day, like, dinner to dinner fasting. It's a powerful tool, right? Fasting is a major, major powerful tool that we want to be able to utilize, really on a daily basis. And you can do it, and it's easier than most of you guys think. And again, it's really going to help to upregulate the way that your immune system works on a regular basis, which is great. So. All right, guys, welcome back to Wellness Radio. We are your health experts, Dr. Nathan and Dr. Rebecca Warren. We've been talking about everything health today. We've kind of been answering questions, going in and out of, not only answering questions, but talking about some of the things that we've been doing at home during, this kind of COVID-19 outbreak. I've been talking about food. We've been talking about, some of the best ways to eat. If you're not on Facebook Live, you should be on Facebook Live right now with Drs. Warren, DRS, WARREN, because we talked about fasting and the types of appropriate fasting to do during this time, and really kind of hit those and answered those questions as well. And so one of the things we've been talking throughout the show, just because we get asked on a regular basis, questions on Facebook daily, calls into the office, is yes, we are still open.
Yeah.
We're an essential healthcare practice. And again, we have patients that have been coming in all week just thanking us for being open. And really, from my standpoint, this is the best time for really making sure that you're taking care of not only your health, but I find that a lot of people that have low back pain, neck pain, headaches, this is the number one visit to the hospital worldwide, but especially here in the United States.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we're really trying to make sure that we're really serving people on. And so, you can set up an appointment with us, come in. We're in Hamilton Place area, across from the YMCA, next to the Home Depot. And there we've spread out our appointments, taking all the precautions we can to make sure it's a safe, clean environment. Again, most of the time throughout the day, there's usually, again, sometimes it's just one-on-one in the office. So if there's, multiple, sometimes it's only like 2 people in the office. Yeah. We've spread it out, and we've got a really good system to make sure that you guys are doing well.
This morning, you had people just sit in their car. We have that option as well, where you can text when it's your turn and it's time for you to come
get
in.
You. Yep.
Yeah, so we're excited. You guys, we're doing that special for the whole month. So if you need help, your spouse needs help, your daughter needs help, whoever, we have people call in for their loved ones. We have that special going on for just $45. It can be done virtually or in office. Save our office number or give Heidi a call right now. That number is 423-362-5360.
No doubt. Awesome. So we've talked about nutrition. We've talked a little bit about fasting. What about exercise? Right? So just because we're staying inside, does that mean we should just not move at all and just sit on the
get
couch
outside? Listen, the stay-at-home orders, don't go congregate, like a street game. Don't congregate in the streets.
A street game?
Yeah.
Like what?
But more
of
a
street game.
So, okay, I don't know. I'm just visualizing something in my head. Anyways, wrong example. But this is the problem I'm seeing, and I think it's a really big issue, is that they're hearing stay-at-home orders, and people that are just really, stickler for the rules are not getting the crap outside. That's not good. Stay-at-home doesn't mean you have to physically stay inside your house. Get outside, get into your yard, get into your backyard, and stay out there. Read your book out there, work out there, get outside, take off your shoes, stand in the grass. I know you can't just go walking around wherever. I know the parks are closed, but you have to get outside near right there where your house is and breathe the air.
Yeah.
You have to get sunshine. You have to touch the grass. You have to get outside your house. We're not even getting into how toxic a house can be. It is more toxic inside than it is outside. Yeah. So it's so important that you're making an effort to get outside in your yard, in your backyard, staying out there and doing things that are going to get your heart pumping. Yeah,
no doubt, man. And again, if you're inside, open up your windows, open up your doors, let fresh air in. It's going to be super important, from that standpoint. And make sure that you're getting up and moving. So one of the things that I've been talking about with patients throughout the week is there's different levels of movement, right? Mm-hmm. So we have some patients that come into our office that are post-stroke victims that again, have had some serious health issues or post heart attack victims. And so for them, movement looks different than if you're just, maybe just a regular person working on your health. And so I even tell them, hey, maybe you start with doing squats into your chair, right? And doing 20 to 30 seconds at your pace, as hard as you can go, and then doing a minute of rest, repeating that 5 to 10 times. And that's your movement and exercise. Maybe for others of you that you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do 10 to 15 minutes of a burst training workout. Then maybe Dr. Rebecca is going to film herself doing a high intensity interval training workout in the morning. She's going to film that so you guys can see it.
Can I recommend something for you guys? Husbands, don't try to make your wife work out with you. I mean, you guys might have a better exercise relationship than we do. I mean, that's where our biggest fights come from. Where I can't, I'm struggling, and he's like, you can do it. I'm like, leave me alone. And so,
don't yell at me. I didn't even yell at you.
So you might have to do it on your own. You can do it together if you guys have that kind of relationship, but we do not. Yeah. I know we said we were going to record one on a Facebook Live. Yeah. We will. We'll do one. We'll try to do one this weekend with the kids. so you guys can have a laugh, but also do the workout with us.
Yeah, no doubt.
So go to Facebook, Doctors Warren. We're going to be live this weekend.
That's right. Stay moving, right? Stay moving, and that's really the key. Work on deep breathing and just, again, having moments where you're trying to de-stress. I learned an interesting thing, and those of you that are on Facebook Live, you'll be able to see it. I actually learned something pretty cool from, Dr. Mercola was talking about the other day that I thought was pretty neat way to actually reduce some anxiety, right? And how to breathe. And I was like, man, I tried it myself, and I'm like, wow, this actually works, even as silly as it kind of sounds and everything. And what he talked about is if you wrap one of your hands around the wrist, right, on one hand, and then you actually put the other hand on your forehead. So again, the opposite hand that you wrapped your wrist around, and you just take some moments and you deep breathe, and you do that for 2 to 5 minutes, you will actually see your pulse rate come down, and you will see your cortisol levels come down. And I did this the other day, and I was actually blown away. And I think part of it is because when you grab your wrist, you can actually feel your pulse rate. When you put it on your head, same thing, but also you feel touch in a very sensitive area here. And again, you can actually reduce your cortisol levels just by doing some deep breathing and making sure that you're taking care of that at home too. And then what are you reading? What are you listening to, right? Mm-hmm. If you're one of those persons that are out there and you're listening to, stupid videos with like Bill Gates and probably one of the biggest idiots on the planet, you're listening to videos like that. Or if you're, kind of bought into this fact that he's going to be the savior that's going to take care of everybody.
A lot of the news now is just really, it's. I mean, we know there's a problem out there, guys. Yeah. We know that it's real. We know that it's going around. But if you, I bet for a majority of you guys, if I hooked you guys up to something that monitored like kind of like your stress response, just from watching it, we know it causes this internal panic. You want to protect your mind. You don't have to have the news on every single evening. Even if you feel like it's not like having an effect, we know that stress is stress is stress. Yeah. And our body is meant to look at stress and say, hey, we have to go into survival mode. We have to go into fight or flight. And so you might not feel it right off the bat, but you're internally going into this, I got to survive. And if all you're hearing is this negative thing, overwhelmed and fear, listen, you got to shut it off. You know what is required of you right now from your state and your city. You know you have to protect yourself, protect your family, be safe. You don't need to be hearing. One thing that I thought was really interesting that I've seen floating around on social media is that every single day, multiple times a day, we're being told of the death count. Oh. This death count, the death count, the death count, the death count. And then it's becoming kind of like this number, just this number that we're seeing. But we're not focusing on stories of people that are surviving, the numbers of people that are surviving, that are coming out the other side. We're not hearing more and more of these stories. So really we're focused on all the bad. It's there and it deserves, to be mentioned. Yeah. But we have to focus on the good that's out there. The hundreds of thousands of people all over the U.S. are recovering and they're well and they're okay. Mm-hmm. But I think that's really interesting how we're being bombarded with that message. Oh, it's a perfect example of that. So I know we got to take a quick break again, and we'll be back. Make sure that you join us live on Facebook because we go through a bunch of different stuff when we're live. But again, if you want to consult with myself, Dr. Rebecca, you want to come into the office off hours, again, in a safe environment that we can actually start working on your health. Or if you want a virtual consult, you can give us a call, 423-362-5360. Heidi is standing by. She'll set you up with a consult. Instead of $120 to $150, we're doing a special all month long for only $45. And again, that's to start diving into your health, which is going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be exciting because once you understand the root cause, you now know what you can do about it, which is super exciting. So 423-362-5360. Give Heidi a call. She'll get you set up. This is Wellness Radio. We'll be right back after the break. All right, guys. So protect your mindset. We want to make sure that we're doing a lot to protect what we're reading, what we're going through. And again, if you have questions, man, shoot us a message. Watch some of our videos. We're trying to give people great information that you can utilize right now in the situation that you're in. And also, we just want to give encouragement. And I want to let all you guys know that are listening to us right now that, man, you know what?
you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And I know that more so than ever, there is opportunity in the midst of this to refocus what really matters, right? To refocus on what matters. And that's our faith and our family and our health. Refocus those things. You know, I know every single day when I wake up, even those moments that creep in where I have some fear or I get a little bit scared or I worry about what's going on around me, one of the things that I do is I remember that the end of my story is already written, and it's a great one. And again, so I refocus where my mindset is off, and I want to encourage you guys to just, you know, in the midst of this all, you know, be open to saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to turn some worship music on. I'm going to turn on, you know, maybe it's a Hillsong or elevation worship, and I'm going to listen to a good sermon, and I'm going to work on my mindset. You know, maybe you're listening to somebody like bringing out the old school like Zig Ziglar that Dr. Rebecca has, you know, really been playing a lot in here, that is working on our mindset and saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to refocus. Right? Refocus my mindset, refocus my health of, you know, whether it's spiritually or physically as well too. I just want to encourage you guys to do that because I believe there's major opportunity here. The other thing I want to say as well too is this. Even though we're changing up some of the things that we're doing right now, what I want to encourage you guys is don't think of this as a new norm. All right? Please. I've been telling every patient this. Do not accept this as a new normal, okay? Because as soon as you do that, as soon as us as a society accept this as a new normal, that is a dangerous place to get into, okay? So abide by the guidelines, take care of you and your health and the health of your family by consuming real food, taking care of your mindset, getting plenty of sunshine, taking your vitamins and minerals as best you can, taking care of your internal body. But at the same time, do not accept this as a new normal, right? We want to come out of this stronger than ever, right? But also, at least in my book, I want to come out of this with the same liberty and freedoms that this country was founded upon. And so if we go on and accept this as a new normal, we will end up losing those liberties and freedoms that we, again, you know, is a basic human right and that this country was founded upon. So make sure that we remember that, right? Because I'll tell you what I do not want. I do not want next November and December and January to be right back in the stinking place again where we say, oh no, the coronavirus, it's back again. We've got to shelter down. We got to hunker down. We can't go back outside. Guys, we don't have to be there if we get away from this fear mindset and we recognize that, again, in a place that we're a country that is supposed to be built upon liberty and freedoms, we also cannot take the mindset of safety at all costs, all right? That's a very, very important thing that we have to understand. Those are two completely separate things. We can be smart and we can use wisdom and we can use logic and we can do a lot to protect those that are most vulnerable. There's no doubt about it. We can follow the guidelines. But we can also respect the fact that this is not a new normal. This is just something we're going through right now. Our liberties and our freedoms are vitally important, and we need to make sure that we really pay attention to that.
In fear, man. There's so much fear out there. And if you want to get rid of fear, just look at the real numbers. Look at the real stats. Look at the, okay, so these people have died. You know, how many people are surviving? What can we do? What can you do to take care of yourself? I mean, that's the biggest thing. I just see a lot of fear out there, and it just breaks our heart.
Yes.
We want you guys to be well, but we want you guys to be physically and mentally, spiritually well as well.
No doubt. All right, guys, welcome back to Wellness Radio. I am your health expert, Dr. Nathan Warren. Dr. Rebecca Warren's more of the health expert here. You know, oh, look at that. I should have just earned some brownie points right there, and you just roll your eyes at me. And that was
you
really
don't earn them
thing.
that easy. You can go clean the kitchen.
Oh, man, come on now.
I already cleaned the kitchen this morning.
That's good. I'm like, you never know what our kitchen's going to look like with our kids, man. You know, our kids are like, you know, they're at an age now where like you'll walk in and they'll have like the chair like pulled up against the counter and they're like standing on the counter going just through everything.
Stuff out the counter.
Oh yeah, man. That's like it's like you never know what you're gonna expect when you walk in on a regular basis. Like, is the home gonna be clean or is it gonna be a war zone? I don't know.
But then, like, at the same time, it's like they're quiet and they're playing, and then, like, but they're, destroying everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I guess I'll let them destroy everything because they're not fighting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, we're learning, right? Yeah. We're learning. Yeah, parenting advice. The parenting advice that scares me the most is that people keep telling me, you guys are in the easy phase of parenting. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Really? This is the easy phase? What are we going to do when they're teenagers one day? Like,
if someone's tuning in right now, they're like, is this a parenting radio show?
Yeah, sorry. This is more just our rant and rave.
Trying to figure it. Yeah, guys. We get to rant and rave sometimes too.
No doubt.
Anyways.
But yeah, so guys, we've had a really fun show today, guys, and I want to encourage you guys that are listening on the radio, just like on Facebook Live, man, like and follow our page on Facebook.
Doctors Warren.
That's right. You got to follow it on Doctors Warren because, again, that's where we go live about really specific, things. I know Dr. Rebecca, we talked about pregnancy and birthing the other day, which was huge. Yeah. I've gotten so many comments, both in the office and on Facebook about that one. We talked about specific things with COVID-19. I did a whole video on vitamin C, vitamin D supplementation. We did a whole video on immune boosting, not only supplements, but foods. But we're doing these on a regular basis so that we can bring you guys up to date, not only information, but practical things that you can do. Mm-hmm. And we're getting away from the negativity of the media and things that you see out there. We're just trying to bring you information that's going to, number one, support your health, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. And then some of them are just fun, right? We just want to make sure that we're doing those for you guys. So follow us and like us on Doctors Warren on Facebook. Go check out our website too. And also too, we have a YouTube channel now that we're putting up some new stuff that's a lot of fun. Yeah, Doctors Warren on YouTube. You can also subscribe there and check those things out as well too. So we got a couple minutes left. Is there anything specifically that you were wanting to talk about that we didn't get to? I know we talked about exercise, we talked about diet, vitamins, minerals.
I do want to touch on, this next week, we're going to do something really fun and exciting. We're doing some giveaways focused on local businesses here. We're going to highlight some local businesses here in Chattanooga. So if you're local, go to Facebook, like and follow. We're going to do some giveaways. Yeah. But we also want to let you guys know, as a small business, that our whole goal is our calling. Our passion is to serve not only our city and community of Chattanooga, but be as far-reaching as we can to allow people to live the life that God intended them to live. So we are going to be here till the end. We're going to be here with our doors open, doing everything we have to do to make sure that we're here to help you guys locally and to help you guys virtually, because this is our calling. This is what we've dedicated our life for. This is what we sacrificed for. I know what it's like to lose your health. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to go in this vicious circle of not being able to find people to help, to not have the right resources. Until the day we die, we're going to fight hard to make sure that we are here for you guys, that we're giving you the right information, that we're providing a resource that you guys can utilize to be well. We're in Hamilton Place. That's where our clinic is, right across from the YMCA next to the Home Depot. And online, you can check us out at doctorswarren.com. If you guys want to do one of those appointments, you can give us a call at 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. I just feel very thankful that even though we're working more hours to accommodate all the changes we've had to do, I'm just so thankful that we get to do this for you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. So again, guys, this is Wellness Radio. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay tuned. We're going to do a workout. We got to do that workout video.
Yeah, she's going to do it.
No, we are going to do it together.
Maybe I'll just film her. I'm gonna set up a camera when she's doing her workout, and we'll film her.
That's really creepy.
That is kind of creepy. I won't do that, man. Whatever. She's like an Instagram bomber. I won't know that she's. I don't know she's doing something on Instagram, and next thing I know, she's like, hey, did you see this video here? And I'm like,
I don't post
picking my nose.
I don't post the embarrassing videos of you. I do choose them, but I do want to post the one of you singing.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, you guys have a great Saturday. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you this week.